Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Colleen and today I am going to work on what is a pretty quick recipe and not so bad on the budget side of it. Mostly you can take things out of your refrigerator and out of your pantry and get this dish going pretty quickly. So today we're going to make a taco pasta, and it's one that we've come to enjoy, and I thought that I would share it with you today because it's a fairly simple dish, and I know that most of you enjoy simple dishes. So I'm going to gather everything up and get it over here on the counter to show it to you, and then we're going to move to the stove, and most of the work is done on the stove. So today I'll show you all the ingredients first, and then we'll take it over to the stove. So I'll be right back after this. Okay, I think I've gathered up everything that I need to get this recipe started. I'm starting with a deep pot because we're going to be cooking the pasta in the beef broth and milk inside the pot. So I wanted something that maybe had a smaller base, but that had a deeper sidewall, so to speak, because we are going to be cooking the pasta in there. I have beef broth. You could use a mixture of beef and chicken if you chose to. I've got cheddar cheese. This is a Tex-Mex. I'm sure you could use Monterey Jack or mozzarella in it as well. This is what I happen to have in my fridge. I have a can of Rotel, and this is a Rotel with the green chilies in it. Some tomato paste. I usually have the tube, but I'm out of the tube, so I'm going back to the can. I've got a pound of this is a mix of beef and pork. Normally I use just beef, but this is again what I was able to get. I have a package of taco seasoning. I have 2.5 cups of the large pasta shells. You can use whatever shape you like. It could be penne, it could be fusilli, it could be Alpo macaroni, whatever you prefer. I've got some milk, and here I've got 3 cloves of ginger that I've just minced up. I've got some onion powder, some butter, and some Worcestershire sauce. And those are the ingredients that we need. So I'm going to take this pot over to the stove and put just a little tiny bit, maybe a teaspoon of oil in it to get this hamburger started. And then I'll take you to the stove and we'll get to work on this recipe. I'll be along shortly. Well, you can probably hear that the beef is now pretty well cooked off. It gets louder as it gets drier and hotter. So I'm sure you're hearing that now. So let's get started with some of the ingredients that go inside the dish. So right now I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of butter. And I'm just going to give it a quick stir around. And then I'm going to add the 3 cloves of minced garlic. And just give that a bit of a head start. Right there. And then we'll get on to adding the flavor. I'm going to add, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. In a little bit. I'm going to say 1.5. I'm going to add the Rotel right now. And give that a little stir about. And then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, and these are pretty generous. I like the flavor that the tomato paste brings to the dish. So now let's stir that in really good so that it's mixed in quite well. We don't want any lumps of tomato paste left behind. I hope I'm staying out of your way enough here so that you can see what's going on. Now, we're going to add next 3 cups of beef broth. And I think maybe that needs to be opened a little more. And as I said before, you can use chicken or beef or both. I think if you're going to add chicken, you may need to up the amount of Worcestershire sauce that you're going to put in there, because you want to maintain that flavoring, that deep, rich beef flavor. Now I'm going to add about a half to a teaspoon of onion powder and give it a stir. And when this comes to a simmer, to a boil, then, well, right now I'll add the milk too. I'll get a cup of milk in there. Now when this comes to a boil, I will add the pasta to the dish, and I'll be back when it's ready. Now I think you can see that it's starting to bubble, so I'm going to add the taco seasoning in here now. This is just like a full bag of taco premix, and I'm just going to add the whole thing into the pot, give it a stir, and then I'm going to add the pasta. Now, I'm going to caution you a bit right here, because the pasta will definitely stick to the bottom of the pot if you're not being mindful that it needs to be stirred. At the beginning, I probably stir it a good 2 minutes. Just keep it moving around. It helps to take some of the starch off the outside of the pasta noodle so that it's not so likely to stick. But because the pasta is going to absorb a lot of this moisture, you need to definitely be keeping a mindful eye on it. I'm going to put a lid on it, and I'm going to turn it down when it comes to a boil. That's where it is right now. So I'll grab the lid and I'll turn it down to a low setting on my stove so that it just maintains a gentle simmer. And it'll take between 20 and 25 minutes probably to cook the pasta. I know normally it doesn't take that long, but when you put it in a dish like this with so many other things, it can take that long. So be prepared for that wait. Just keep testing your pasta until it gets to where you want it to be. We like ours a little al dente, but if you like yours softer than that, then you may need to add a little more beef stock to it, or a little less pasta. It's up to you. So I'm just going to grab that lid, and when this is cooked, I am going to be back to show you what it looks like. Now here I am, just bubbling and stirring. It smells wonderful in my house, and I can see that the shells still have quite a ways to go, and it's just bubbling nicely along. Well, the noodles are just where we like them. The pasta, they're the large pasta shells. And I notice there's still quite a bit of sauce in this pot, which is just fine with us. We don't mind them to be a bit saucy. And it's at this point that we're going to add the cheese. Now I have in here 1 1/3 cups of cheddar, and then 1 cup of the Tex-Mex mix. So in it's all going to go. I'm just going to reach over and shut the stove off, but continue with the pot on here to stir until all the cheese has melted in. And this will also thicken everything up a bit. And there we go. We're getting a good melt in there now. And very creamy, as you can see. And that's it, folks. That's all there is to it. Now, I am going to prepare some of this on a plate so that you can see what it looks like and how I'm going to present it for dinner tonight. And I will meet you next at the counter. Now I'm just going to serve some of this out and onto the plate. And there we go. Also going to add, oh, maybe a few bits of lettuce from out in our garden and a sprinkle of tomatoes. These came from the grocery store, but I'm still happy to have them. And then my husband likes it with Parmesan cheese, but I like to serve it with a good scoop of sour cream. And that's how we eat one pot taco pasta at our house. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please give it a thumbs up, give it a like. That would be really helpful. And share this video with your friends. That would be really, really helpful. So I hope that you're having a good week and a good day. And I look forward to bringing you another recipe very soon. So take care, everybody, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.